everyone, and welcome back to While You Were Cleaning. Today I have some bathroom decor DIYs to share with you all. So I wasn't necessarily planning on sharing these DIYs in a video because they are for the women's bathroom at my church, but I did put together two printables and I wanted to share those with you, and so I decided I would just go ahead and make a video on the different decor pieces that I'm going to be adding to that bathroom so that you can also have those printables if you would like them. They will be linked down in the description box of this video. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you do, please hit that like button, please comment and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off by updating this shelf. I found this in my garage. I can't remember exactly where I got it from, whether it was a thrift store or a garage sale, but the hardware on this was still good, so I'm just going to take that off so that I can prepare the shelf to be painted. I'm using a very fine sandpaper on all of the edges of this shelf. Because the surface of this shelf is so smooth, I need to go over it with some sandpaper first, otherwise my paint is not going to hold very well on the shelf. Once I was done sanding down all of the sides, I used a cloth just to wipe off all of the dust from the shelf. Next, I'm going to use this Rust-Oleum white primer. It's really important to use a primer on a shelf like this that already has a pre-finished surface because it's really going to help the finished coat of paint to stick to this shelf. And I did do 2 coats of primer on this shelf. And my finished coat is going to be this Rust-Oleum semi-gloss white spray paint. And I did 2 coats of spray paint on this shelf. Once the shelf was dry, I screwed the hardware back in place. Next, I'm going to be adding a simple change to these 8x10 Dollar Tree frames. I removed the plastic and the insides from these frames, so I'm left with just that frame piece. And then I'm going to be spray painting these with Rust-Oleum gloss spray paint in the color Warm Yellow. I added 2 or 3 coats of spray paint to completely cover these frames. I really love all of the different sizes of frames that Dollar Tree has to offer, and it's so simple to update these and change the color of them by adding some spray paint. I'll be adding these Bible verse printables to these frames. These are free for you to use. I linked them as a PDF down in the description box to this video. These printables are 8.5 by 11 inches in size, so to fit in this particular 8x10 frame, once you download these and you open them up in Adobe, you're going to want to change the scale size to 90%, and then where you see the option to change portrait or landscape, you want to put that on auto, and that will center this on the page for you. Next, we're going to put together a raised tray using this plate from the thrift store, and then also this glass, which looks a little bit like a candle holder, but I believe it's actually a glass of some sort. I'll be using some E6000 to put this project together. This will make it nice and sturdy and permanent. So I'm going to add the E6000 to the smaller edge of the glass piece. That way the wider edge will give it a wider base to make it a little bit more sturdy. I'm going to use a coat of this white Rust-Oleum primer to spray paint the bottom side of this tray first. After the primer dried, I used this Rust-Oleum gloss spray paint in the color Winter Gray, and I added 2 coats of this to that bottom side of the tray. After the underside of this tray dried, I turned it over and used that same Rust-Oleum white primer on the top side of the tray. And then finished off the top of the tray with 2 coats of the Winter Gray color. Next, I'll be updating some vases. These are pretty easy to find at thrift stores or yard sales, priced anywhere from 25 cents to $1. I'm going to start off with a coat of Rust-Oleum white primer. Since these are glass, it's good to add a coat of primer first so that the finished coat sticks really well. And also, one of my vases was clear and I wanted to make sure that they all started out as the same color. And for a finish coat, I'm going to use Rust-Oleum gloss spray paint in the color Sage Green. I added 2 coats of this spray paint to each of the vases. When painting these, you want to make sure that you get that very top part of the vase, and then also at the very bottom of the vase where it may curve underneath a little bit. Make sure you get that as well. I'm going to add these lavender flowers from Walmart to my vases. I still found these recently. I know they may be a little bit harder to find now. I cut off all of the branches from the main stem, and then I added 2 of the branches to each of my vases. This sage green color on the vases is a very vintage looking color. I really liked the way that it looked with these lavender flowers and the leaves that came with them. Next, I'm going to use a little trinket pot from Dollar Tree and a faux succulent. This one I actually got from Family Dollar on sale last year, but you can find succulents at Dollar Tree as well. And I'm going to be adding this succulent to this little pot. So these have sort of a sand type material, and I just had to use a little pair of pliers to chip away at the sand so that it was small enough to fit into the top of the pot. And then once it was small enough, I just used some hot glue underneath some of the leaves to hold it in place. Lastly, we'll be using one of these smaller wood or willow wreaths from Dollar Tree, and we'll be using some pine cone pieces. So you're going to have to pull apart a pine cone, or if you find something else that's similar, we're going to be making our own cotton pieces. So you'll also be using these cotton balls from Dollar Tree. I have done a tutorial in the past on how to make your own cotton stems. I'll link that above for you if you need more details than what I give you here. But I just pulled apart a cotton piece and then I'm gluing it back together to look like a cotton stem, and then I'm going to add in those pine cone pieces around the edge to make it look like a cotton piece that came off of a cotton stem. I made several of these, some with 3 sections, some with 4 sections to use on my wreath. There's probably at least 20 or so that I put together to use on the wreath. I'm also going to be using some of that same lavender from Walmart, and I'm just cutting apart each of these branches into several different pieces, and I'll pull these apart a little bit more as I put them on the wreath as well. So now I'm just going to add the lavender around the wreath, and then I'm just going to alternate between lavender and cotton pieces as I move my way around the wreath. I keep alternating as I move around the wreath, using 1 or 2 cotton stems and then using a lavender branch. Some of them I cut apart into smaller pieces, and then some I left into larger sprigs of lavender. And I really love the way that this lavender and the cotton pieces look together on this wreath. To finish this wreath off, I used some other leftover lavender pieces around the edge of the wreath to fill in any other empty spots. Like I said, I really love the way that this wreath turned out. I am using it in a lady's bathroom, but I also think it would be a great spring decor DIY. I picked up a few other Dollar Tree items to add to this bathroom as well, a couple different kinds of lotion, and then I also picked up some facial wipes, and I'm going to put these inside of this airtight glass container and put that in the bathroom as well. I thought another nice touch to the bathroom would be these flossing picks, so I'm going to open these up and put them into a small Dollar Tree jar. I also picked up this multi-pack of nail files from Dollar Tree to add to the bathroom, and then a trinket tray ring holder as well. And those are all of the small DIYs that I put together to decorate in this bathroom. It really was a blank canvas. There were just gray walls in there, and I just wanted to add a few special touches for the ladies that attend church with me. Thank you all so much for joining me for today's video. I hope you have seen some DIYs that you can use to update areas in your own home. I appreciate all of your support. Thank you for watching today, and I'll see you next time. Bye!